While my dad was dying, my neighbor claimed he was helping out, but secretly stole my family's heirloom car, sold it for $22,000, and said it was just gathering dust. He lied to everyone, said my father gave him permission, but when I found the forged title, I brought it to the auction. I parked my truck outside the Prescott Classic Auto Auction in Prescott, Arizona. That's where I found out the car ended up. My family's 1965 Mustang GT Fastback. Silver body, cherry red interior. My grandfather bought it new and kept it in perfect condition. It was my dad's pride and joy. He never let anyone touch it. Until he got sick. Pancreatic cancer. Fast, brutal. I've been driving back and forth from Flagstaff to help Mom take care of him every weekend. That's when Wayne, our neighbor, offered to lend a hand. Claimed he'd mow the lawn, fix the fence, clean the garage. Said he was just doing the neighborly thing. But that was bull. I found out what he really did a week after the funeral. It started when I went to Dad's garage to grab a box of his old tools. The Mustang wasn't there. Not under the tarp. Not in the garage. Just gone. I asked Mom, "Where's the car?" She blinked like I'd asked her where the sky went. "I thought you took it." "No." I figured Dad would have left it to me, but I haven't touched it. She paled. That was all I needed to see. I called Wayne. He didn't answer, so I walked over. I knew he was home because I saw the glow of his TV through the window. I knocked until he opened the door with that stupid fake smile of his. "Oh, hey, sorry, I was in the back. Where's the Mustang?" He blinked like he didn't know what I was talking about. "What Mustang?" "My dad's car. The 65 GT. The one he kept in the garage for 30 years. "Oh, that Mustang," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "Yeah. Well, I thought you guys didn't want it. It was just sitting there collecting dust, you know? And your dad, he told me before he passed that I could have it." I stared at him. "He told you what?" He said, "Wayne, I know you'll take care of her better than anyone else." Those were his words. I swear. Bull. My dad wouldn't have let Wayne touch that car, let alone have it. "You're lying." "Hey," he said, raising his hands. "Your dad and I were close. I was just trying to honor his wishes." I left before I broke his jaw. The next day, I checked with the DMV. Wayne had transferred the title. It was listed under his name. I nearly punched the wall, but then I saw the signature. It said James B. Connor, my dad's name, but I recognized the handwriting. It wasn't his. It was shaky, crooked, and stretched like someone was trying too hard to copy. Wayne forged it, and the DMV approved it. I couldn't sleep that night. I tore through the attic, the basement, every drawer in the house until I found what I needed. The original pink slip. My dad had kept the original title. Signed, but never transferred. Still in his name. I knew it. He never trusted paperwork to anybody. With that in hand, I did some digging. Wayne sold the Mustang through an auction company called Redline Classics out of Prescott. A collector from Santa Fe bought it for $22,000. I called the auction house, pretending to be a buyer, and got the buyer's contact info. Then I called him. His name was Mark Kessler. Older guy, mid-60s. Soft-spoken, but smart. When I told him what happened, he was furious. He said it was a gift from his father-in-law. That lying son of... I told him I had the original title, with no sale listed and a forgery on the new one. He said, "Bring it here. We'll straighten this out." So I drove to Prescott. The buyer agreed to meet me at the auction house. And that's where this whole thing started turning fast. After I showed the title, Mark Kessler said, "That's enough for me. I want my money back." The auction manager, some guy named Rick, said, Whoa. We need to get the seller here. Let him speak." I didn't argue. Let Wayne come. He showed up 2 hours later, grinning like he just won the lottery. Until he saw me. Until he saw the paper in my hand. "Don't say a word," I told him. "Just look." He read the original title. His face dropped. "This doesn't mean anything," he stammered. "That's old." He gave me verbal permission. "No, he didn't," I snapped. "And you forged his name. That's felony fraud." Rick, the auction manager, cleared his throat. "Wayne, did you forge this?" Wayne's mouth opened, then closed. Then opened again. He told me I could. "No, he didn't," I repeated. "And I'm reporting this to the sheriff." Wayne turned red. "Come on, man. Your dad didn't even like you. He told me you were a screw-up, that you didn't deserve the car." I stepped forward. Mark grabbed my arm. "He's not worth it," he said. Wayne kept going. I did you a favor. That car's a death trap. I fixed it up. I got it running. I gave it new life. You ought to thank me. That's when Rick cut him off. This deal is null. I'm refunding Mr. Kessler. The car's going back to its rightful owner. Wayne's mouth flapped like a dying fish. But no, wait. That money's gone. I already used it. Not our problem, Rick said. He turned to me. We'll hold the car in our lot until you bring the sheriff and a proper statement. I nodded. Gladly. Wayne stood there shaking. His little side hustle just exploded in his face. And that's just the beginning. Because I'm not letting this end with just the car. What would you do if someone forged your parents' signature to steal something priceless? Let me know in the comments. And if you're still watching, make sure to like and subscribe for part 2, because this revenge story isn't over yet. Wayne thought it was over when the auction house returned the car. But I was just getting started. See, for a guy who acted like he was doing favors, Wayne had a long habit of helping himself to other people's things. After I got the Mustang back, I started hearing stories. Little things at first. My mom's missing garden tools, a pressure washer from the neighbors, a chainsaw that belonged to my Uncle Dave. I figure I just misplaced it, Uncle Dave said when I called. But now that you mention it, Wayne was the only one who ever borrowed it. It was all adding up. Wayne was a thief in plain sight, and nobody had ever stopped him. But I was going to. I filed a police report in Yavapai County. I handed over the original title, a copy of the forged one, and a notarized affidavit from Mark Kessler, the buyer. It took a few days, but the detective I worked with, a serious no-nonsense guy named Sergeant Dana Walker, called me back. This isn't just forgery, he said. It's grand theft auto. And if he used a fake signature to profit, that's fraud too. Maybe wire fraud, depending on how he moved the money. They arrested Wayne the next week, right on his front lawn. But here's where it gets wild. When they searched his garage, they found more than just tools. He had boxes of old electronics, antique furniture, even a dusty case of rare vinyl records, all tagged with masking tape labels like Linda's Attic and Carl's Junk. Names of neighbors. He'd been stealing from the whole neighborhood bit by bit for years. At first, people didn't want to believe it. He was a guy who brought everyone pies on holidays, helped clear snow in the winter, always offered to keep an eye on people's houses when they were away. But when the sheriff's department published the list of items recovered from his garage, it hit home. That antique desk belonged to Mr. Jensen 2 houses down. The missing silverware set? That was from the Harveys on the corner. One guy even found his dad's Purple Heart medal in a drawer. Wayne wasn't just a crook. He was a parasite, and people were furious. Now, the Mustang was back in our garage, and I had the paperwork to prove it was mine. But something still didn't sit right with me. Why now? Why my dad's car? Why would Wayne risk prison for something so obvious? So I did what Dad used to do when he wanted the full story. I looked through his old receipts. And that's when I found something strange. A service bill for a body shop in Tempe, dated 2 months after my dad got sick. It wasn't in his handwriting, but it listed the VIN of the Mustang. And it said, Restoration Prep, totaling $4,800. That's when it hit me. Wayne knew my dad was dying, and he planned to steal that car long before Dad even passed. He was fixing it up so he could sell it for top dollar, maybe even send it to auction out of state. He probably thought I'd never come back after the funeral. This wasn't an accident. It was a setup. Wayne posted bail after a week in jail. But by then, the whole neighborhood had turned on him. People crossed the street to avoid him. HOA sent him a violation notice every other day. He tried putting up cameras and motion lights, but it didn't stop what came next. Late one night, someone spray-painted thief across his garage door in blood-red paint. 2 days later, someone egged his truck. The week after that, a letter went out to every home in the neighborhood, and signed, but typed, with details about every stolen item the cops recovered from Wayne's property. A few neighbors started a petition to kick him out of the HOA. But I didn't sign it. Not yet, because I had something else in mind. I wanted to hit Wayne where it really hurt. So I hired a lawyer. We filed a civil suit for fraud, emotional distress, and damages related to the forgery. The suit totaled $75,000, including legal fees and punitive damages. When he got served, Wayne tried to play dumb, claimed I was ruining his life over an old car. But in court, his whole act fell apart. The judge didn't care about Wayne's crocodile tears. Not when we presented the original title, the forged one, and testimony from Mark Kessler, Sergeant Walker, and the auction house manager. Wayne's lawyer looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. The judge ruled in my favor. Wayne was ordered to pay me $68,000. And when he couldn't, they put a lien on his house. Now here's the twist. 6 months later, I got a call from a real estate agent. Wayne was selling his house. "Want to buy it?" she asked, half joking. I said, "Let me think about it." And I did, because now I knew the truth. Wayne didn't care about being a neighbor. He just wanted what other people had. And he thought nobody would stop him. But someone did. Me. And that house, it's still on the market. And every week I drive past it in my dad's Mustang, engine rumbling, windows down. Just to remind Wayne, some things you steal once and lose forever. A month after Wayne listed the house, I started hearing rumors. First, it was the real estate agent. She mentioned that he was having trouble finding buyers because the neighborhood's talking. Then it was Mr. Jensen, the guy who got his antique desk back. He had an open house last weekend, Jensen said, leaning over my fence. Nobody came. Word's out. I didn't spread the rumors. I didn't have to. Everyone knew. And it wasn't just the theft. It was what Wayne represented. That feeling of being violated, of someone taking advantage when your guard was down. But Wayne wasn't done making enemies. He filed for bankruptcy, claimed he couldn't pay the judgment, said the lien was unfair. He even tried suing me back, claiming I'd slandered him and damaged his reputation. His case got tossed in less than 10 minutes. Still, it forced me to take another day off work, pay my attorney another $500 just to show up and dismiss the nonsense. I was boiling mad. That's when I remembered something my dad used to say: "You don't fight garbage with fire. You just take it to the curb." So that's what I did. I started making phone calls. Wayne used to work part-time at an RV dealership in Chino Valley, about 20 minutes from town. I called them, quietly, asked if they knew about his felony charges. The manager sighed. "Yeah, we found out the hard way." He told us he had a misunderstanding with a neighbor, left out the part about the forged title and the auction house. He was let go 2 weeks after that call. Then I called the Prescott Valley HOA board. "I'm not asking you to harass the guy," I said, "but you should know he stole from multiple residents. Maybe check his compliance with association rules." Turns out, Wayne hadn't been paying his dues for over a year. Late fees, trash bins left on the curb too long, fence too high, junk car in the driveway. It all added up. They filed formal violation notices. And finally, they began proceedings to force a sale of his property under community rules. But that's not even the best part. I found out Wayne had another secret. He owned a second car, a 1973 Corvette Stingray, bright yellow, in mint condition. It was tucked away in a rented storage unit outside of Dewey Humboldt. I only found out because the storage facility called me by mistake. "Hi, is this Mr. Connor?" "Yes. Just letting you know your payment is past due for Unit 14B, the one with the Corvette inside." At first, I thought it was a mistake, but curiosity got the better of me. I drove out there, showed them my ID, and the manager apologized. Wrong account. It wasn't mine, but I asked, casually, who the car belonged to. "That's Mr. Wayne Crowder's vehicle." Crowder, Wayne's last name. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Wayne had hidden the Corvette while pretending he was broke. Filed bankruptcy. Begged the judge for leniency. All while secretly holding onto a car worth over $30,000. That was enough for my lawyer. We filed a motion to freeze his assets. And this time, the judge didn't just approve it. She sent a court officer to inventory his storage units, Corvette included. By the end of the month, it was seized and put up for forced auction. And guess who bought it? Mark Kessler. Yep, the guy who tried to buy the Mustang originally. "I'll keep this one in the garage next to the other," he said. "But I'm leaving a sign on it that says, 'Former property of a con man.'" Wayne moved out of the neighborhood 2 months later. Sold his house a loss, still owing me more than $30,000 from the judgment. He left in an old rusted pickup with a mattress in the bed and his pride in the dirt. Last I heard, he was living in Kingman, Arizona, in a rented trailer. No job, no cars, no friends, just silence. And every so often, I still drive the Mustang down to the farmer's market. People stop, Smile. Ask if it's for sale. I say the same thing every time. Nope. This one's family. Because revenge isn't just about payback. Sometimes it's about restoring what should have never been taken. Want more stories like this? Drop your city in the comments. I might use it next. And don't forget to like and subscribe.